Intuitive eating is really listening to the cues of your body. And by intuitively eating, you are specifically picking up the cues that your body desires for it to be optimal.
Are you ready to bring your dream body and health into life, but just can't seem to keep the motivation going? And is it finally time to address the self-sabotage and the unwanted eating behaviors such as binge eating, emotional eating, and nighttime eating that you know are getting in the way of your goals? Do you ever wonder what it would take for you to feel in control of your rituals so that you can stay consistent and see results? Welcome to this week's special Make Peace with Food Minisode on the Fall in Love with Fitness podcast, where you'll learn how to overcome unwanted eating behavior and other self-sabotaging habits by shifting your nervous system so that your body works with you instead of against you. I'm your host, Sherry Shaban, and with each episode, I am honored to be your coach and guide in the journey to make peace with food and find food and body freedom so that struggle with weight is a thing of the past. When you tune in every Thursday on the Fall in Love with Fitness podcast, you'll catch the latest conversation on unwanted eating behaviors and learn how to shift the nervous system, rewire the brain to new patterns, and end the food and body obsession so you finally feel relaxed and no longer confused around food. Now, before we begin, I want to quickly invite you to grab a free copy of my Food Freedom ebook that I have for you at makepeacewithfood.com. And if you find that this conversation resonates with you today, then I also want to invite you to join our free Make Peace with Food Facebook community at myfoodfreedomlifestyle.com, where you can connect with me and my team directly. The links are in the show notes. And of course, if you know somebody who you feel could benefit from these conversations and discussions, make sure to share this podcast with them too. All right, athletes, now let's get into it.
Today, I'm going to be talking about Fat Loss 101 Masterclass that's coming up. And really, the idea of this conversation is to share with you how to rev up your metabolism. How can we turn our body into a fat-burning machine without all the restrictions, without all the dieting, without even having to give up dessert? Because I'm a dessert person. I don't know about you, but I'm all about enjoying all the pleasures of life, which includes food, which includes really being able to go out and have fun and really have a comfortable relationship with food where you're seeing the results and not feeling so restricted. For anyone listening in today who's in this place where they're feeling super confused about food, they're feeling super frustrated about food. They try different things. They may even try intuitive eating, only to find that actually intuitive eating makes them a little bit more out of control. Are you in this place where you feel like you've heard just about everything? You can probably write your own diet book at this point. You've tried every single diet, and now you're very uncomfortable with food. Certain things are maybe feeling scary for you when you're going out maybe to certain events. You're a little bit nervous around what to choose. If you have a little bit too much, or if you have starches, if you have certain fats, how does that make you feel viscerally? How does that make you feel? So if you're in this place where you feel like you've tried everything, you just don't know what to eat anymore, you just have no idea what works for you, then this conversation is for you. So the thing is, and what I've actually seen in the last 25 years of being in the health and fitness industry, is that we're always trying to chase this shiny object. We're always trying to chase the latest fad diet. We're always trying to chase maybe the latest conversation around intermittent fasting and around gut health and around going vegan and around all of these things, but never really understanding how the body actually works. And the other thing that I oftentimes see is that we all try to fit ourselves into that same box. Like there's like this one rinse and repeat type way to eat that we're all supposed to find, and it's just supposed to work magically for all of us. And so what I've actually seen is that we move further and further away from that intuitive connection with the body, that connection with all the signals that really just tells us how we're supposed to be eating, that is the most optimal for us, that serves us the most, because we weren't all designed the exact same way. We grew up eating different foods, and a lot of us from different genetic backgrounds. And what I mean by that is if, for example, we came from certain areas on the globe, we grew up actually eating certain things that more aligned with what our gut microbiome is. So for us to all think that we're supposed to eat the same way is not exactly valid. And anyone who's saying that, anyone who's making you feel like there's this one way to eat or we should be doing a certain thing, I would really recommend that you just put that hat on and ask yourself, how can this be true? How can it be true that there's this one size fits all, that there's this one way to do it? And so next week, I'm going to be opening up registration for a Fat Loss 101 Masterclass. This is a 4-day masterclass where I'm going to be sharing with you the 4 most powerful things you have to do to shift your metabolism permanently without giving up your favorite foods, without restricting, without dieting, without giving up dessert and sugar, and without having to follow a meal plan. I don't know about you, but the thought of macros and the thought of counting calories gives me anxiety because I've done that in the past. I've done all these things, and I'll tell you that it never really brought me to the results that I want. It just created a lot of fear around food. It created a lot of feelings of separation around my body and what my body needs and the types of foods that I was actually eating. And so on day 1, we're going to kick it off and we're going to talk about the nervous system. And I talk about this a lot because this is really where it's at. If you understand the way the nervous system works, then you're going to understand that not only depending on which type of nervous system state we're in, and the type of nervous system that we are talking about is autonomic nervous system. That is fight or flight. That is rest and digest. We're going to talk about that particular nervous system. And this nervous system dictates whether or not you're going to be in fat storage mode or fat release mode. And it's not just through what you're eating and how much you're moving, but it's also through your thoughts and your emotions, which most of us don't really learn about. But that's what I want to teach you. And that's why you have to join the masterclass. I really want to make sure that you are going to be well equipped for this workshop. And I've even created worksheets for you that you're going to be following along with. So day 1, we're geeking out about the nervous system. Day 2, we're going to talk all about hormones. And it's not the type of hormones that you actually think, especially if you're menopausal right now, or maybe you have PCOS. We're always talking about estrogen and we're always talking about aging. And after hitting a certain number, we're just going to start to put on weight. And that is simply not true. And if you're like me and you're maybe getting into that stage, I'm in my 40s, I'm 44, then I really, really encourage you to actually start following people who are doing the things that you want to do that are your age, not follow the people that are maybe 2 decades younger than you, that are doing something completely different, or talking about hormones, or talking about releasing weight at mid-age when they haven't actually experienced it. Why is that? Because proof actually gives you that confidence. And if you can find proof elsewhere of other people doing it, then you know that you can do it too. And I'm telling you, you can do it too. And so I tend to follow people on Instagram who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s that are doing the things that I want to do. That's where I want to go. And I know it's possible. So start there. But the 2 hormones that we're going to be talking about are going to be revealed in that masterclass. And these are the 2 hormones that change everything. And if you know how to manage these 2 hormones, then it affects all the other hormones, including estrogen, including growth hormone. So we're going to be deep diving into those 2 hormones so that you really understand how the body works and, again, how it relates to the nervous system. Day 3, we are going to talk about metabolism. We're going to really get into the deep dive of what metabolism means, how we can speed it up, what we do to slow it down, and how metabolism actually can be improved through a few simple steps. And metabolism is that ability for you to just burn more energy at rest. And it's that ability for your body to feel like it doesn't need to store energy. It doesn't actually need to conserve energy for protection. And again, we're going to get into that through some worksheets that I'm going to help you really begin to understand the topic. And so it starts making sense. So again, it's not just about calories in and calories out. And finally, we can't not talk about gut health. So day 4, we're talking about gut health because that is the machinery. That is the machinery that's going to do it all for you. And so if you understand how gut health works, if you understand how to optimize gut health and understand how we need certain moments where we can actually rest things, where we can actually shift our nervous system so that our body can start to release weight, and you understand how that is intricately related to gut health, then, oh my God, you are so set up. Now, there's an opportunity for you to also join me inside the VIP room where I'm going to actually help you create that master plan for you to start to implement all the things that I'll be teaching you in those 4 days. But the greatest takeaway today is not just that I want you to join this masterclass and so that you can just rewire all of the thoughts and beliefs that you actually have about diet and exercise and metabolism. I really want to actually help abolish all those limiting beliefs. I want to help unpack the truth around how your body works and how to optimize it to become a fat burning machine. But the greatest takeaway that I want for you today is that you walk away knowing that you can't continue to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. If you've been dieting for 10, 15, 20 years now, if you've been on a plan, off a plan, and it's always either on or off, and it's not really working for you, your whole life has been a series of releasing weight, gaining weight, releasing weight, gaining weight, trying different things and feeling super disconnected with your body and super frustrated, then it's time to change it up. It's time to try something else. And more importantly, it's time to move away from all those calorie countings and macro countings and focusing on food and really get to know your body. It's time to understand your body, and not just through intuitive eating, which is another big buzzword. And I'm all about the anti-diet and feeling more intuitive with your body. But you have to understand that if right now you're experiencing self-sabotage, if you are binge eating, if you're emotional eating, if you're having a hard time staying on track, and then all of a sudden you find yourself moving into intuitive eating, well, a lot of those cues to binge and a lot of those cues to follow those cravings that are just super intense, that are asking you to indulge in things that aren't serving you, that's not intuitive eating. That's you following that part of the nervous system that is actually driving the weight gain. It's actually driving protection, which again, we're going to tap into. So again, you may be hearing this and this may be resonating with you, because I work with a lot of people who've done intuitive eating and have found that they end up putting on more weight and feeling more uncomfortable. And intuitive eating is really listening to the cues of your body. And by intuitively eating, you are specifically picking up the cues that your body desires for it to be optimal, for it to be healthy, for it to release inflammation, for it to really be in that state of high efficiency and high vibrational energy that helps serve you every single day. And so again, I would love to see you in that masterclass. It starts on July 22nd. It's a 4-day masterclass. It's for 1 hour. It's from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern, completely free. You'll join the Facebook group that we have all in the link below so that you can join live, you can ask questions, and that you can also come back to and watch the replays. When you register on the link, you're going to receive your workbooks via email. I'll be sending out a worksheet every single day right before that masterclass, so that way you can follow along and make sure that you fully participate. And so let's do this together. Let's go ahead and completely destroy all of the limiting beliefs that we've heard about diet and exercise, because there's a way to do this that's fun, that's exciting, that's relaxing, that's so enjoyable, and that really becomes effortless effort. And that's where we want to go to. We want to go to effortless effort, so that food and diet and weight and body image is not the thing that's always on our mind. We actually are going to be able to open up that space and really focus on the things that bring us the most joy.
Thank you for listening to this week's Make Peace with Food Minisode on the Fall in Love with Fitness podcast. If this has resonated with you today, I want to invite you to subscribe to the show so you never miss a beat. And if you know someone who could benefit from this conversation, then please share this episode with them. Let's work together to help as many people as possible make peace with food and fall in love with fitness. And by the way, I need to mention that if you rate and review this podcast on iTunes and send over the screenshot to Sherry at sherryshaban.com, you'll receive a $500 voucher to join me at one of my upcoming retreats, or to use it in our Make Peace with Food coaching program. And don't forget to visit myfoodfreedomlifestyle.com to join the free Facebook group for more resources. And remember, athlete, you are an inspiration. I cannot wait to hear your story.